Imagine the ruler of the greatest empire on earth, an emperor cloaked in purple, revered as a god, spending his final years not in triumph, but in infamy. Inside the marble halls of his villa on Capri, witnesses whispered of pools filled not with water, but with children, trained to swim between his legs like fish, nibbling, kissing, reduced to living playthings. Ancient historians called them pisciculi, the little fishes, their innocence twisted into tools of an emperor's grotesque desires. Behind locked doors, Rome's most disciplined general, once celebrated for his virtue, surrendered to compulsions so vile that even a world of gladiator fights and public executions struggled to describe them. Boys mutilated for pleasure, girls forced into obscene contests, bodies discarded like broken toys. This was Tiberius, Rome's second emperor, who inherited Augustus's empire and turned it into a prison of terror. How did a man who commanded legions with precision become Tiberius the Perverse? Was it the weight of power, the loss of his family, or a darkness waiting for Capri's cliffs to unleash it? Tonight, we'll uncover the horrifying practices of Rome's second emperor, acts so depraved they chill the blood 2,000 years later. If history's dark secrets fascinate you, join our community of truth seekers. Hit that like button to share these hidden stories. Subscribe to never miss a scandal, and comment below to tell us where you're listening from, Rome, New York, or beyond. Together, we're revealing history's hidden face. Now let's step onto Capri, where an emperor built a kingdom of nightmares. Tiberius Claudius Nero was born in 42 BCE into a Rome torn by civil wars. His father, a supporter of Julius Caesar's assassins, fled when Octavian, later Augustus, seized power. Tiberius grew up in a fractured world, caught between the old republic and the new empire. As a boy, he was solemn, reserved, more at home with books than banter. Yet his seriousness was his strength. Under Augustus, he became one of Rome's greatest generals, leading campaigns in Germany, Pannonia, and Armenia. His soldiers admired his cold efficiency, patient, calculating, merciless when needed. His victories expanded Rome's borders, cementing its might. But cracks formed beneath his iron exterior. Augustus forced him to divorce Vipsania Agrippina, the woman he loved, to marry Julia, his daughter. Julia mocked Tiberius, took lovers openly, and humiliated him. For a private man, this was unbearable. Marriage was political currency, and Tiberius's suffering reminded him he was a tool of Augustus. The loss of Vipsania hardened him. Ancient sources say he never forgave Augustus, planting seeds of bitterness that would grow into cruelty. If you're gripped by Tiberius's early tragedy, share the story. History is about the human cost of power. Let's uncover these truths together. In 6 BCE, desperate to escape humiliation, Tiberius withdrew to Rhodes, abandoning Rome. For a celebrated general, this was shocking. Rome whispered, was it cowardice? Despair. For 7 years, he lived in obscurity, nursing his grievances. When he returned in 2 CE, Rome had changed. Augustus, aging and out of heirs, Marcellus, Gaius, Lucius all dead, turned to Tiberius reluctantly. Imagine the resentment, to be the unwanted heir, a compromise. Tiberius knew he was a placeholder, not Augustus's true desire, and this weighed on him. As emperor, Tiberius ruled well at first, frugal, cautious, respectful of the Senate. Unlike Augustus's spectacle, he avoided grandeur. Rome enjoyed stability, but his wounds, Julia's betrayal, Vipsania's loss, exile festered. The death of his son, Drusus, broke him. Grief turned to paranoia. He saw betrayal everywhere, senators plotting, friends turning. Rome felt like a nest of vipers. So, he turned to Capri, an island where he could rule from afar, safe from daggers. If this tale of loss resonates, subscribe. We're diving into history's darkest corners. Comment, would you choose love or power? In 26 CE, Tiberius retreated to Capri, a jewel in the Tyrrhenian Sea. Rome thought it a retirement, but it was an escape from a capital he distrusted. Capri's cliffs made it impregnable. Once you entered, Tiberius decided if you left. To outsiders, it was paradise. Sunlight on limestone, villas over blue waters, gardens of cypress and olive. But in the Villa Jovis, paradise had horror. Suetonius described secret chambers and rooms built for indulgence. The villa was a stage, with Tiberius as director, every person a performer in his grotesque theater. Whispers spread of the pasiculi, children trained to swim in pools, nibbling, kissing, their innocence warped. Contests followed, boys and girls forced into degrading games, dressed as mythological figures or mutilated for fantasies. The villa became a workshop of degradation. Far from Capri, Tiberius ruled through fear. Letters demanded arrests, executions, purges. Informers spun conspiracies, many imagined. Capri was pleasure for the emperor, death for his enemies. His discipline had twisted, every act calculated, but now aimed at bodies, not territories. Suetonius writes of acts so while he pauses to say, yes, it was that bad. Whether all rumors were true, Rome believed them, staining Tiberius forever. If these truths shock you, like this story and share it. Subscribe, we're halfway through this nightmare. Tiberius demanded domination, not just indulgence. He turned intimacy into spectacle, with contests judged like gladiatorial games. Victims crawled like animals or enacted grotesque myths, Europa's abduction, Leda and the Swan, twisted into humiliation. Concubines were objects, forced into unnatural acts, some mutilated for novelty. Tiberius derived pleasure from suffering, blending violence with desire. Fear ensured obedience, refusal meant death. Informers thrived, silencing dissent. If a senator criticized, their family was destroyed. Obedience was law, and law was perversion. Rome, used to slaughter, recoiled at Capri's tales, yet they gave Tiberius power. He became the empire's bogeyman, his name silencing all. The irony, a man of control was now controlled by compulsions. If you're shocked, share the story. Comment. What drove Tiberius? Power, grief, or darkness? Subscribe to keep exploring. Capri's horror is seen through its victims. Countless lives torn from families, silenced by fear. Slaves from distant provinces, their identities erased, or noble children sent as punishment, vanished to the world. In the Villa Jovis, marble halls and frescoes loomed, the seas roar a reminder of no escape. Soldiers patrolled, swords gleaming. Silence was survival. Obedience was survival. Resistance meant death. Victims' identities were shattered, their humanity currency for Tiberius's amusement. He broke spirits to ensure obedience, pitting victims in competitions where failure meant punishment, success survival. Some chose death, their bodies flung from cliffs into the sea, called the Goat's Leap. Rome whispered of Capri, the scandal spreading like wildfire. Tiberius could do anything without consequence. But the victims had no power, only silence. Their names were lost, remembered only as little fishes. If this moves you, like and share to honor them. Subscribe. Comment. How could Rome have stopped this? By his reign's end, Capri was a fortress of fear. Pleasure and politics merged. Tiberius ruled through terror, his letters condemning senators, nobles, even family. Informers twisted words into treason. Those summoned to Capri faced shadowy chambers, forced to witness or partake in humiliations. Executions matched. Debaucheries, bodies hurled into the sea. Tiberius's paranoia deepened. Astrologers fed his obsession with omens. He trusted no one, ordering deaths of allies and kin. Cruelty and desire intertwined, breaking a senator's body mirrored breaking his will. Capri reduced the empire to submission. Rome obeyed in terror, soldiers followed orders, and the people knew only rumors, myths that froze every tongue. Fear was Tiberius's legion, Capri his fortress. If this grips you, like and share. Subscribe. Comment. Could you survive such fear? The final years saw a relentless purge. Sejanus, the Praetorian Guard's prefect, had been Tiberius's voice in Rome, bending the Senate. But in 31 CE, Tiberius's letter condemned him. By nightfall, Sejanus was executed. The purge exploded. Families denounced their own. Senators chose death to save estates. Tiberius's letters grew colder, rumor became evidence. On Capri, he rarely left the Villa Jovis, walking colonnades at dusk, his smile hollow. The empire functioned, legions rotated, roads repaired, but fear hummed beneath. In 37 CE, Tiberius died in Misenum at 77. Some say illness took him, others claim Macro, the new prefect ended him. Capri exhaled. Rome praised Caligula, the new emperor, but Capri's stains lingered. If this captivates you, like and share. Subscribe. Comment. What did Caligula learn from Tiberius? Tiberius's legacy is not his victories or treasury, but Capri's whispers. Historians like Suetonius, writing later, may have exaggerated, but Rome's belief in the tales reveals their horror. Capri symbolizes unchecked power. Tiberius's wounds, humiliation, exile, his son's death, turned to bitterness, then paranoia, then cruelty. Capri was a mirror of a soul unraveling. Empires corrode in shadows. A ruler who isolates himself risks becoming a prisoner of his mind. Tiberius's tragedy is the silence that enabled him. The victims, nameless, remind us of power's cost. Caligula's madness would eclipse Tiberius's, proving corruption lingers. Tiberius, who commanded legions but not himself, is a caution. Absolute power deforms. If this stirs you, like, share, and subscribe. Comment. What can we learn from Tiberius today? Let's keep history's lessons alive.